Hello and welcome back to Marvel Puzzle Quest with me, P.I. McLeod. If you were watching just moments ago, thank you for bearing with me. I had a little bit of audio difficulty, so thank you for sticking around. It is day 3900 in good old Marvel Puzzle Quest, and by saying that amount of days, I feel like it really is good old Marvel Puzzle Quest. Jeez. What are we here for today? We're here to crash a couple Titans. I said I was going to do this 2 days ago, and I apologize. I didn't do it 2 days ago because, life. I'm sure we all have those incidents where you're like, I'm going to straighten up and mow the yard or do the laundry or whatever. Well, I said I was going to stream the Titans 2 days ago. Didn't happen. I apologize. I'm here for you now. Let's look at these Titans. No, we did you. No, that's just a PvE. We've done that before. It's you. Two of them today. It looks like, if I can tell by the icons, that's Namor and Peggy Carter that we're going to go against. But let's stop with the spoilers and just click into it. Oh, wait. Animation's on. They're one-on-one fights. I caught it early this time. Oh. Okay, let's go. Namor. Called it. Big old fork dude. He's starting today with a 553 at level 240. Nothing surprising there. He's not cheating with his all fives that we see some of these characters do. Let's go back in time. Namor came out in Marvel Puzzle Quest. Oh, God. What? Half the life of the game ago, at least? I remember when Namor came out and it was like, oh, wow, it's been... Geez, we've been waiting for him. He's kind of an OG classic in Marvel Comics, right? And then he came out and then everyone was severely disappointed. Because even to this point, he has been buffed at least 2 times since he's been released. And he still has overpriced powers. When he came out, they were even more expensive. They expected him to be this big character that would just bide your time. And then eventually when you get to fire his powers, he will decimate the opponent. And that's not how this game works. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way. You want progress every turn you can get in this game, and that means passive abilities, generally speaking. There's just not enough time to build up AP and fire off your abilities. But what are your abilities? Well, I'm going to give it a real quick synopsis, okay? All 3 of his powers are basically nukes. They're different varying strengths. Some do team damage, some do single hit damage. One does a board shake in the shape of a giant trident. One does damage based on blue tiles on the board. There's a lot of varying points to him. And sure, if you get the AP built up, he will decimate. But by that time, the battle might already be over. One of the notable changes is that he used to give the opponent 1 black AP for firing off his black power, as if that was some sort of boon he would just bestow upon his enemy. And now they made it a little more, I don't know, substantial for the cost. It doesn't really matter. It's still not a central point of the character, but I just thought it was funny before how you'd spend 12 and do a bunch of damage and he gives you 1, as if that's some sort of compensation for what he just did to you. But anyways, let's look into what we're really going to go fight against Namor with. Human Torch, Jim Hammond. Basically, we're doing oldies today. Namor is an old character. You know who's older? Jim Hammond. He's the Human Torch before Johnny Storm was the Human Torch. How do I know this? Did I read any of the comics? Not at all. I Google searched it because I was curious way back when these characters were released in Marvel Puzzle Quest, because I didn't know Jim Hammond. I'm not a big comic book nerd, as you might think me to be, but I looked him up because I wanted to know. And I gotta admit, this cover's kind of cool. Look, he's just walking through the wall, melting it as he goes. You know those scenes in Star Wars movies where they take a lightsaber and break the door down by melting it into a circle or whatever? That's Jim Hammond. Jim Hammond is the lightsaber. He just walks through whatever he wants to walk through. He's like, oh, Kitty Pryde can do this. Look, I'll do you one better. I'll just make the wall not exist. Anyways, I always thought it was a kind of a neat little concept. He just walks through, guy shoots him, he don't care. Dang. Okay. Anyways, Human Torch in MPQ does bring a passive to the game, which is already trouble for Namor. But in this case, Human Torch doesn't get to use it. What? We don't get to use it? Well, let me show you why. Burning Persistence is a passive that says, whenever an ally, and there's the trigger right there, right? Whenever an ally fires a power, fortify 3 friendly repeater tiles and create a strength, blah, 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 yellow strike tile. It's pretty good for making strike tiles when allies fire off powers. It's good for fortifying repeaters, which, you know, those usually need protection. You don't want to spend all that AP and lose your repeater, do you? It's not a bad ability, all things considered. As a passive goes, just, you know, bring some teammates that do cheap casting powers and you'll see a lot of this play. But let's talk about what he's really good for. Wildfire. 6 green, okay? This is only 6 green, super cheap. You get a 1-turn repeater that deals damage to a random enemy. What's so good about that, Pi? Let me tell you. At the start of the turn, passively, as if there's at least one of these repeaters on the board, you create an additional 1-turn repeater tile, up to a maximum of 5. So that's 5 of these puppies out there, ticking damage down every turn. Yes, that also adds on any strike tiles you might have out there. Or, I don't know, if you have teammates that boost your damage, like Apocalypse, like Okoye, you get the point. It's really good damage for really cheap. The opponent might remove 1 or 2 of them, but they're recreating themselves every turn up to a max of 5. Fun little extra nugget of knowledge, 5 isn't your cap. Even though it says maximum 5, guess what happens? If you get 6 more green AP, cast it again. You now have 6 of these out there. Do it again. Cast it for 7. You can have as many wildfires as you want. It's just it only recreates itself up to a maximum of 5. You could do a lot of damage with this ability. And remember, his yellow allows you to passively fortify repeater tiles. Yeah, he's a little bit of self-love there. Finally, there's this ability that I put down to 3. I could probably boost it to 5 for these fights. And we'll do it for the second fight. And just show you how I normally play him, and then we'll show you the red in its full blessing. Blaze Beyond Control, when I put it at 5, costs 8, obviously his most expensive ability, but it's not too horrible. You destroy all friendly repeater tiles, dealing damage and generating AP for them, and dealing a good chunk of damage to the enemy team. The damage to the enemy team is increased by about half of that amount for each repeater destroyed. Now, a little bit of extra fun notes here. When it says destroyed, it doesn't mean it entirely. If it destroys the fortification on a tile, but not the repeater itself, it still counts. So yeah, you could have a lot of fun with this. You could really wreck someone with this and keep your wildfires going. Note that there's no cap. It doesn't say like, oh, up to a maximum of 8 repeaters destroyed or some of that BS, right? It literally lets you do as many repeaters as you want. So yeah, have fun with that. I put it at 3 because honestly, the wildfires do enough damage, and that yellow is so nice when you're talking about team battles. But I'll let you see it for yourself in this first one-on-one fight. I don't think we need any supports. We're not going to dig into it, but if you need any advice, maybe your Human Torch is under-leveled, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Drop it here on Twitch, live. Either way, I'll go over it with you, and we'll even talk about maybe what supports you could use to help yourself out. There's plenty of options available for us to pick from. Ready? Let's go. Water guy versus fire guy. Old OGs. We want reds. We want greens. Yellows won't do us any good except for decent match damage. Let's take this red. He took a red and a purple. And another purple. What a greedy dude. It's not cool. Like, as if we wouldn't notice. I guess I'll take this yellow over here. Aha, green. Yes, yes, yes. Take the greens. We need the greens. Take this green. Note that Namor himself also uses green. So, like, if if you have a color preference on the board, if you have options of green, red, or yellow, do green first, because Namor has no use for red or yellow, so he won't go for them. But, I hope that's pretty obvious by this point. Uh-oh, he's blowing his horn. He's tooting the old tuba. Doesn't look like a tuba, but it is now. Green. There we go. A little bit of Flamington there. Let's do this match 4 for fun. Here comes the wildfire. Look at that. Recreates itself. Burns a little 709 into his chest. We'll take this red. Thank you. Uh-oh. It's doing it again. Now, if you noticed, I was wrong. I mean, I noticed I was wrong. Did you notice I was wrong? It fortified his tiles. It says when only an ally casts a power, but I guess it counts himself. Not everybody works like that, and I gotta be honest, I don't have an entire encyclopedia in my head of which characters actually truly mean the word ally, meaning one of their actual partners, or if it actually includes themselves. I'm sorry, what up, Jetix? How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the stream. What teams are the best in Marvel Puzzle Quest PvP right now? Is it what teams people usually use, or is it something else? A little bit of both, Jetix. Some people will put out what is called like a bait for all intents and purposes. An easy team, meant to lure you into attacking them, and then they just trounce you with their big old meta team that they really want to get you with. Just to lure you on in. Here, give me 1 second. Let me get through this screen and I'll show you real quick. Let's go roster. I guess it really depends on what level of PvP we're talking about, Jetix, if I'm being honest, because being at this level of the game, and I mean at level like 252, I have access to a lot of different levels to play at. With that being said, I play primarily in Shield Clearance level 10, which means a lot of 5 stars that are champed. If we're talking 4-star play, I can go over that with you as well, or 3-star as well, but I'm assuming 5-star to start, right? 5-star fights could include, let's go into a versus screen so you can see my saved teams. We'll use, we don't have the shield right now. That's right, we're in between seasons. Well, we'll still look at it. 5-star at the very least. Okay, good to know. I'm not going to actually go into the fights here, even though this is a seed team. But I'm going to look here at my save team so you can see a few that I like to keep on hand. I stand by that Okoye, Omega Red, and Gore is quite amazing. They go together like peanut butter jelly and, of course, the bread that puts it all together. They rock. Now, of course, you could defeat them pretty easily. They are kind of a glass cannon team, but there isn't a lot of teams that just trounce them easily either. You might say to yourself, well, hey, Mighty Thor will totally trounce them, right? She gets rid of opposing tiles all the time. That's assuming that she starts with her charge tile right next to one of their tiles. And don't forget that Gore actually makes his yellow AP back when his tiles are destroyed. So you just recast them out there again. And you're going to tell me for a moment that you're not actively trying to match the charge tiles to take away Mighty Thor's actual ammunition? Nah. It's a little overplayed. We all understand how Mighty Thor works, so if you're worried about going against them, don't worry. They still trounce her in the end. The only thing that kills you on a Mighty Thor team is the actual board shake luck. If they actually board shake into a lot of destruction time after time again, and it is possible, they can win you with just luck. But I don't like to rely on luck. We just talked about Mighty Thor. Let's get into her real quick. No pun intended. Mighty Thor is really super, super good. Let's move this live symbol out of the way. Mighty Thor, for just board shake purposes alone, she's definitely one of the top tier characters for a reason. This blue with its board shake ability to destroy special tiles. It doesn't care if it's friendly or enemy. As long as there's charge tiles nearby, it goes for it. Obviously, people team her a lot with Shang-Chi. This is big meta talk here. But I have to warn you, as many times people like to rely on this team to get work done, Shang-Chi needs reds and purples to work. If he doesn't make a red match or a purple match, it's dead in the water. So on defense, the computer doesn't do that. The computer doesn't aim for red and purple matches. You could easily just take those away from him or just target him first and stun him out. Same thing for Mighty Thor. She's not aiming for anything in particular. It's just random chaos on the board. They're annoying to fight against, sure, but honestly, all you need to do is use Chasm to stun them, or just go for a 2 to 3 turn win with Okoye and friends. What's that? I missed a couple of your things there, Jetix. Play mostly on Shield Break 10, but that may be less relevant to play mostly King the Conqueror and Gargantos. Don't know if it's really working anymore. I guess it's been hit with reality check. Gotcha. King is okay, as I would say, for a lot of reasons. But Gargantos, not so much. Gargantos is relying on your countdown to do a lot of work, a lot of heavy lifting. If you're going to use Gargantos, I highly suggest putting him with, let me scroll down the list here. I'm looking for him. He's definitely Gargantos' buddy, which is going to sound weird when you hear who it is. Hawkeye! Hawkeye and Gargantos go together pretty darn well, and it's because of his level 5 purple. Can't seem to miss. So whenever a friendly countdown reaches 0, gain 3 blue and 2 red. If you remember, his also fortifies countdown tiles at the start of the turn, which is always nice. Gargantos' blue is a nuke. It's a giant nuke. So you're helping his countdown stay out there with the fortification. You're getting AP off that CD when it gets 0, and then on top of it, you're after like 3 countdowns go down, you can now use Gargantos' blue, which is a giant nuke that makes him invisible, and of course increases the amount of countdowns he has out there. So if you really want to use Gargantos, I implore you to put Hawkeye with him for a time just to see how it works for you. If we're talking King, King works really well with certain other characters. Here, let me pull up a team here. King, I like to call that one the King of Away team. Kang plus 4-star Deadpool and 5-star Hawkeye. The reason why I put them together is because in 5-star territory, and the opposing team is going to pack a punch. That's without question. They're going to hit hard. Well, Deadpool's going to sit there. Oops. Can't click him. Oops, I almost tried to put him in the roster, and I can't do that right now. 4-star Deadpool says, hey, if you hit a friend for X amount of damage, I'm going to put out a countdown tile that's going to clap back for some damage. That's not the point. The point is it's a 1-turn countdown. You're going to get a ton of them because the opponent's going to start out with like Mighty Thor doing her board shake, maybe a match or 2. You'll get like 2 or 3 countdowns to start, right? Then Hawkeye kicks in, giving you blue AP and red AP for each one of those. All of a sudden, you have King sitting there with a bunch of blue AP. By turn 2, you can already send probably 2 people away, if not at least 1. And since they're sent away for 3 turns, by turn 4, you've probably sent away everybody. You win. What teams do you like to use with King? Okay, well, we just went with that. I tend to dislike using 4-star characters with 5-star ones, but it may work. I may have to try it. Here's the deal, Jetix. When you have a 4-star character in your team, you don't expect to win on defense. You're inviting someone to come back and clap at you, right? However, you're going to fail at it, and it's just on defense. But don't worry. When they hit you back, that gives you a retaliation. Retaliations, when the node is not yellow, when it's red. I wish I could show you an example right here. But when these little retaliation nodes are red, those are actually worth more points than yellow nodes. You want them to hit you back. Inviting a hit back, as long as you're confident you can keep winning, you're going to get more points in the end. Retaliations are always worth it if you don't mind, working with the opponent. Retaliations are kind of like a handshake with the PvP rivals. Like, hey, I'll keep hitting you, you keep hitting me, and you try to do your best against each other over and over again. Just don't be surprised if you're playing a king team, that someone comes on in and maybe brings a stunner to maybe try to thwart you, or does something off the wall to bring some pain to you. Maybe they bring in someone that's going to just harass you, some sort of harassing team. All of a sudden, you might turn around and get beaten by this team. Here, let me throw this one out there. This team I could kill a lot of people with, and it has 2 4-stars. Coulson, Multiple Man, and Hawkeye. You can win every fight in the game in 2 turns with them. No joke. They literally win through Multiple Man's passive win theme by making 34 dupes without question. Do I lose with them? Of course, but I also win every fight. They don't win on defense. I constantly win by turn 2. It's kind of ridiculous the amount of wins you can get this way. There's no such thing. Let me make this perfectly clear. There's no such thing as a team that's going to be perfect on defense anymore. There's an answer for every team out there. It just matters of how much effort you want to put into it. Yeah, it's definitely a good thing to get that back and forth going. When you see yourself get a loss and you lose you lost 4 points, 5 points for a loss, that's consider that like the tax. The tax for playing the game. Cool, that means I got a retaliation. Let's go back and hit that person back. It's definitely good. 2 turns to win? Sounds dumb, honestly. Not sure if it should be possible. I wish, can I show you? Can I show you live right now? Let's do it with the brand recognition. I don't think I've done one of her fights yet. Odin and Hulk, huh? I want to make sure I get this. Ooh, Polaris and Beta Ray Bill. That might work really well. Black Panther. Oh, that's such an easy team to thwart. You know what? This will make the point, just to get it out there. Let's go 4-star. I didn't mean to do this during the stream today, but hey, I figured it's kind of fun to get the knowledge out there. Coulson, get out here. He's super important for this. Hawkeye is important for the team, but not crucial. Coulson is crucial for the team for this to work. We want yellow, green, black. Yep, there he is. Multiple Man. Okay. For this to work, you have to use some boosts. Unlike King's team that relies on Hawkeye or Deadpool or someone else to make countdowns and make AP for you, Coulson and Multiple Man need to have starter AP to get this to work. So I'm going to boost a little bit AP here, a little AP there, and I don't know, let's just do this one. You need to boost as much AP as possible. Okay, so let's get into it. This is going to look ridiculous, I promise you. Here we go. Yellow. You cast My Own Best Friend. You do it on every single color you can. So we're going to start off with, I'm going to start with yellow. It's going to make some dupes. I usually don't play with the animations on for match, for PvP like this, but here we are. We're just making dupes. These dupes cannot be matched away by conventional means. It has to be a match 4 or greater to destroy the dupes. So tiles destruction, match 3s, things don't destroy them like normal. And you make so many of them in your first turns, even Mighty Thor can't keep up with the amount of dupes you create. What if you accidentally start without the AP boost? Do you automatically lose? Who would you automatically lose? I would say it depends on how good the board is when you start. If you have a good board with a match 4 or a match 5, something where you can get I don't know, at least 8 AP off your first match, you might be able to turn it around. But the only reason this works is because these dupes, they don't match away like normal. It takes a match 4 or greater. And because I make so many out there, I'm literally clogging the board with dupes. They can't do anything about it. You get the first turn as the player. So since you have the first turn, you're clogging the board, making it impossible for them to do anything worthwhile. And that's what makes this so beautiful. Plus, these dupes give multiple man 2% more increased match damage, and he takes 2% reduced damage for each dupe on the board. I just made how many? What's that say at the bottom of this black? I have 20 dupes out there already. Don't forget, these countdowns are going to make 2 random AP in a random color whenever they finish off, because Coulson's making me all that free AP, right? Here we go. I'm going to match this, match that. Look, he matched 2 traps and it didn't trigger because they're dupes. So they literally are doing nothing for me. they don't do anything. These traps are doing nothing until they use a match 4 or greater. I don't care about that. I just care about them existing. They're clogging the board, making it impossible for the opponent to really get any AP. So now I'm going to cast my dupes again. More blue, please. Because I have 4 blue AP. Let's cast some green. It might not be turn 2 this time. I didn't get a lot of AP out of it. I think we matched away some of our countdowns. Yeah, I'm only gonna get 1 out of this one. Here we go. What am I gonna match away? Let's grab this purple. I'm trying to leave him as little AP as possible. See, he had to get the team up. That's not what he wants. He wants actual AP. Now I have 2 red, 3 purple, 4 black. Let's get this red. They're 5 stars. And they're not doing any damage to me. I have so much damage resistance because of all these dupes. I literally have board control right now. And then let's get these blacks. Again. We should be at the win threshold. Come on, what are we at? 32. Come on. This is probably the least amount of AP I've ever had with this team. Bad luck and all that, but look, I'm in no danger. Oh, he got hit. That means he makes a free dupe. That's actually a good thing. You want him to get hit. He makes a free dupe. Here we go. More blue. Look how ridiculous this is, though. Like, even though it's taking longer... Oh, there it is. There's the victory. I win. There's 34 dupes on the board. It took longer than I wanted it to. I had AP troubles, right? But there was no problem. There was literally nothing stopping me from just doing that over and over again. And that's with 4 stars. That's just dumb. Have you set up an Aunt May goal? Yes. Yes. I don't have a set, like, saved team for him, but let's just call it what it is. She's just really good. Where's my golden oldie? There she is. This red is ridiculous. For 6 red, drain up to 30 random AP, deal a big amount of damage. I shouldn't say big, but for 6 AP, that's a big amount of damage. 7,400 to enemy team, increased by 35% for each 2 AP drained. What? Then create a 3-turn Wrath countdown tile for each enemy hit. When those tiles expire, deal more damage to the target. There's a lot of damage here. Now, you know what I like to do to make this better? Go over here. You know, I don't need that. Let's just find her au naturel. Where did she go? She's down here somewhere. There she is. Emma. Emma has this red here called Psychic Flames that has a passive. While she builds power, Emma's Phoenix Force increases her teammates' ability damage by 70%. So an extra 70% damage on top of it, the damage she's already doing, plus 2% more per red AP. Now, of course, if it was a Phoenix Force ally, she'd do additional damage, but that doesn't matter. We don't even care about that. We're getting an extra 70% plus 2% more per red. So, what do you think I'm doing here? I'm going to start with some boosts. I'm going to start with that boost. And then over here, I don't know. Do we even need to boost this? I don't think we need another boost in there. We'll just leave that as is. I'm starting with 4 red AP. You can see why now. I really want that red AP because it's boosting damage. Now this team might be a little harsh because it's Polaris. But you know, it is what it is. We'll get through it. So let's get rid of this match 4. Oh, it's so annoying. Can we turn off the animations for this one? Boop, boop, boop. Thank you. We don't need to see all that. Do I dash the red or do I match? You know what? I'm going to match both. Team up into red, into yellow. Being able to see all those multiple chain reactions is really big. Okay, so I have a bunch of AP on the board. 7 yellow, 8 red, 6 blue, 6 green, 2 purple, blah, 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 right? I could cast a bunch of powers, but no, don't. Do your Cosmic Wrath. You're going to drain up to 30 random AP, and for every 2 drained, the damage gets increased by 35%. I'm going to drain a ton of AP, all of it probably, and boost this damage a ton. Don't forget the extra 70% you're getting from Emma, and the extra 2% per red I have. There goes Polaris. Polaris is dead. She had 55k. Beta Ray Bill's struggling for his last breath right now. No, he's dead. And then so I hope you can see why I like Emma with Golden Oldie. Emma and Golden Oldie is it's the way. It's the wave of the future. Or at least of this meta. There we go, and we'll just do it again. Bye-bye. So, what was that? For some of you were thinking about her instant knockdown blue ability on Aunt May. Oh, I see what you're saying. Actually, if I like instant knockdown abilities, maybe there's something I could try. That's true. The instant knockdown ability with her that... okay, let me go into it real quick. Where's she at? Golden Oldie. Let's see, was it 5? And it's a yellow, red, blue? Yeah, there she is. Okay. Herald. It doesn't really matter which level we're putting it at. It's the same thing, just the turns on it is less on that tile. At the start of Aunt May's turn, if possible, drain 2 yellow AP and reduce the timer on a random countdown allied tile by 1. So if you want to really play with this, there is one build I was thinking of that could make this go quicker, but it's still going to be slow. Let's call it what it is. Create a fortified 7-turn Galactus countdown tile that downs the target when it expires. You're waiting 7 turns to down one guy. But if you can drain 2 yellow, it reduces the timer on a random allied countdown tile by 1. I mean, but that's at the start of the turn, draining 2 to reduce by 1. So instead of it being a 7-turn countdown, you might break that down to like 4 at best, because you're draining 2 AP per turn. So that's like 4 turns to kill 1 guy. You get where I'm going yet? Like, I just killed that whole team in like 3 turns. But this is 1 guy over 4 turns. But if we want to make this faster, we can. I would suggest characters that work with reducing countdowns more often. And this is going to sound silly, but you're using blue AP to cast Herald, right? I can't believe I'm suggesting this, but it's true. Oh boy, the Flapton. Man, this guy is not good for most anything in the game, but he's one of the first characters that come to mind for this. Aerial Avenger is a passive that when you match a blue, you need blue AP to cast Herald, don't you? When you match a blue, he strengthens some tiles. That's not what we're here for. Reduce the timer of a friendly countdown tile by 1. You're going to use that blue AP. You're going to match blue AP. This could bring the countdown down further. You also don't forget that, what is it, yellow, blue, purple? There he is. Coulson. There it is. When you make a match while you have 6 or more team-up AP, spend 2 team-up AP to reduce 1 random friendly countdown by 2. So if you had Coulson and Flapton working together on team up AP and blue matches, you could totally get Herald going and try to run it that way. But that just means your Aunt May, your golden oldie, is going to be your main 5-star up in front. I don't think this team will work that well because it would take you would need like what, 7 blue to cast it once. That means a total of probably let's say 14 blue, because throughout all the matches and all the damage you're doing with other abilities, someone's gonna die. So you need to like cast this at least twice to get the rest of it down within time. It's just a theory. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know if it's what you're looking for, but I'm trying to speed up Herald as much as I can. But okay, there isn't really that much of this game, though. Is there instant knockdown? There isn't a lot of instant knockdown abilities. Aunt May has that one. If we're talking about instant kills, let's go 5. Red, blue, black. Silver Surfer, his Silver Singularity. I love this one, if only because it's a shorter countdown. It actually gives you AP per turn and does damage per turn. You could use this to kill one person while working on another. It's more expensive for black. It's 12 of it, really. But it consumes 5 random tiles adjacent to it every turn, dealing damage, generating AP, and when it reaches 0, it instant kills the enemy, and better yet, it blocks any revive effects. Literally, you could use this to kill Chasm, and he can't come back to life. Or use it to kill Immortal Hulk, and they can't come back to life. Silver Surfer has one of the better instant down abilities in the game, in my opinion, just because it kills them and they stay dead. That's probably one of the best ones, in my opinion, right there. If you want to work on it from another angle, let's go, was it red? Is it red, purple, black? Hitmonkey. This is kind of, has a stipulation on it. So look at the red in the active part of the top. He deals a bunch of damage to the target. Enemies downed by this damage cannot return from being down through their own abilities. So if you down someone with that, they won't get back up, even if they got ability to revive somehow. In the passive, he does 35% more damage to villains, and any damage he deals to villains automatically downs them if they have less than 15% health. So he's also another character you could use to like put someone down for good and maybe kill them a little quicker. But it's, again, it's not as instantaneous as Silver Surfer, or maybe as gratifying as getting Herald's countdown for Aunt May all the way down. So what other instant knockdowns are there? You could roll with Jubilee, the new 5-star Jubilee with extra life. So she makes a bunch of these, 8 of them to be exact, 3-turn repeater tiles, and these one give her extra lives when she gets knocked down. However, so like these extra life tiles will self-destruct to revive her with health upon triggering, but let's just say you lose them all. If all of those tiles are gone, all 8 of them are gone, for 8 black, she kills herself and every single enemy. So you win. So it's not basically the best way to go about doing things in this game, because obviously that's a lot of health packs you're going to eat, but that's another way you could roll. If you wanted to really run this, I highly suggest Mighty Thor as her partner, because Mighty Thor would help get rid of the locks on those tiles that she has. And when you get rid of the locks, then she can destroy them. But you would need to spend a couple turns getting rid of those locked tiles. Anyways. By instant knockdown, I kind of meant reducing the opponent's health down to 0 in 1 hit. Yeah, I know Hitmonkey probably didn't fall into line of what you were saying there, but I was just giving you another way of looking at it. Any other instant kills I could think of off the top of my head? No, I got more defensive builds in mind than offensive builds, because honestly, I think at the end of the day, we all know the offense comes from Polaris, comes from Shang-Chi, comes from Mighty Thor, Okoye, Beta Ray Bill, It's funny to say Beta Ray Bill in offense, but it really is, even though he makes projectiles. Yeah, I don't think there's any other one hit, full life to 0 kills out there. Plenty of other options. Oh, there was a 3-star Goose. That's right. Because I don't think 5-star does it. Let me double check. Oh no, he does. 5-star does it as well. I kind of forgot about that. I don't think of Goose as often as I probably should. So for 11 black, a little pricey, destroy all friendly attack tiles and kitten countdown tiles and down the target enemy. Just eats them. Oh, down the hatch. If there are less than 4 friendly attack tiles or 2 friendly kitten tiles, this ability goes back to that's new. Now, you might think that's probably a big thing there, right? You need to destroy all friendly attack tiles and kitten tiles and have 11 black. It's not that much, really. Look at this here. It says, if there are 4 or more friendly attacks and 2 or more friendly kitten countdowns, the ability becomes how you do it. The hardest thing is getting the black. Friendly attack tiles, that's easy. Bring Carnage with you. Carnage loves making attack tiles hand over fist. That's pretty easy. Kitten countdowns comes from Caddy Kits. Goose has to be your tank for this one. It keeps track for wayward charges, blah, blah, blah. If the team were to take damage, fire Caddy Kits, and then Goose jumps to the front. Caddy Kits basically creates kitten countdowns, and they go out there and basically mitigate damage while they're out there. So this would basically be if Goose is going to take damage and it's team damage, he creates these Caddy Kit countdowns, okay? I know it's a lot of weird terminology, right? But then you have to have the attack tiles from Carnage, and then you need the black AP to use 11 of it to destroy those kitten countdowns and the attack tiles. It sounds like I'm asking for a lot, and it kind of is, but it's honestly not that hard. If you have Carnage with you and maybe like some black generator like, let's say Domino, Cloak and Dagger, even 5-star Dr. Doom could help you out with black AP. You have some ways to go about it. By the way, you could do that with 3-star Goose as well. It's kind of one of the... It's kind of silly, but you can actually 3-star Goose instant kill someone. Could probably try the Goose Flurkin or Silver Surfer then. If you're looking for black AP to use with them, if you couldn't notice, like instant kills and black abilities seem to be hand in hand, may I suggest... Where are you at? She is around here. Yes, it's a she. Is she really this far down? I think I passed her up. I had to have passed her up. No, she's right here. Scarlet Witch. 5-star Wanda. I recommend her when it comes to teams that are relying on a one-hit kill because you need a good amount of black in these cases. 11 for Goose, 12 for Silver Surfer. Her purple only costs 3, and then you pick a color, and she's going to make more of that color on the board. And on top of that, she actually ends up being a defensive character because she's going to reduce the incoming damage on abilities throughout the match. So I highly suggest her because she's going to make your team last a little longer and generate the color you're looking for. So she can help you create your black AP. That is if you have her. I'm just assuming you do. If you don't, you might have to go other routes to get your black AP quicker. So there you go. So like maybe like in theory, Goose plus Carnage plus Wanda, if I'm thinking out loud. No problem. Scarlet Witch 5-star is honestly really good for a lot of teams. She's once upon a time was considered to be super meta. Her with, what is it, Mystical Feedback? Yeah. Mystical Feedback is the ability that gives her all the defense. And actually does like a counter attack at the start of your turn based on how many hits you took. So you had her mitigating damage and doing counter attacks, and then you add in, I scrolled a lot, Colossus yellow, match damage increased, but he also, all of his allies take 83% less match damage. Colossus mitigating match damage, which with Wanda mitigating all other damage, made basically a brick wall. They were pretty meta for a while until the zombie teams come along like Chasm and Eye-Hulk, and they would outlast them. But they're still pretty good. If you want someone to outlast damage for a long, long time, Colossus and Wanda together make a long match to go through. Anyways, nice, Jetix. Good to hear you got on your roster. All right. I'm glad I could answer a few things for you there. I'm going to scroll back over here. Unless you got more questions, feel free to shoot them at me. I don't care. Back to the Crash the Titans we go. We already got through Namor pretty easily. Let's go against Peggy. Now, I said I was going to go and change up Jim's build here. I want to show you what the red looks like a little more. It has a little more meat on its bones. So we're going to do that real big damage. Burning persistence only does this much now. As we learned together on stream, we did find out that he counts as his own ally. So whenever an ally fires a power, him too is going to fortify his own repeaters and make that strike tile. I can't remember all of them by heart. I apologize, but we now know that he will fortify his own stuff. Anyways, let's heal him up. Oh, that's right. Animations. Almost forgot. There we go. Can't go without those. Probably know the history of Peggy Carter, but let's just go back to that real quick. You're still thinking? That's all good, Jetix. Take your time, man. Peggy Carter came out long ago, but was on the cusp, the cutting edge of passive gameplay technology for MPQ. Her yellow really broke the mold when it came into the game, and it really staggered a lot of people because she was pre-Polaris. She stopped. She was before all this Polaris nightmare started long ago. Her ability to say, as long as I have 30% or more health, all your abilities cost 4 more AP. That just stunted everybody's gameplay. That became the meta for a long time because everybody who had cheap powers, well, they're not cheap anymore. And if you had expensive powers, well, you're never going to cast it. Her blue is also really mighty good. It stuns the 2 other enemies on the team, not the target. And so leaves it on a one-on-one fight, so to speak. When the stuns wear off, these countdowns she created will also go off, doing a decent amount of damage per countdown out there. Just to be clear, the countdowns she created are only 1 per ally she has. So in this one-on-one game we're about to play, she won't create any countdowns when she casts it. So don't get that confused at all. Finally, her red is just a big old punch to the face. But back in the day, it was one of the first reds to ever say ignore projectiles. That was kind of a big deal. Like anyone who was trying to run projectiles and play a defensive game, Peggy Carter's red cut right through that like a knife through butter, and it really shook people up. She was a good character, a good build, and she still kind of is to this day. But her passive it's good, but it's not Polaris good. Let's just call it what it is. Anyway, starting to think I'm going to have to try the Florkin Goose and Scarlet Witch. Yeah, man. That'd be really fun. I want to see more people using teams like this because honestly, you could try some meta stuff. Obviously, Shang-Chi works. Mighty Thor works. There's a lot of teams like that, but everyone knows those teams, and it's pretty easy to fight those teams, especially if you just want to cheese through them. If I have to fight certain teams nowadays, sometimes I just shrug my shoulders like, I'm going to multiple man ya. I'm going to king ya. I don't even put the effort into it because I want you to retaliate. Please retaliate against me. Make it a red dot. Now it's worth more points. And now we're going to go tit for tat, back and forth, playing ping pong, getting retaliation points with each other. I'm just not going to put all that extra effort into trying to beat your Polaris because let's just call it what it is. It's annoying. What's that? And after I have a team of 7, I may have to figure out what I want to try. There's plenty to do in this game, that's for sure. I mean, if you couldn't tell by the amount of characters on a given roster, scrolly. Anyways, we don't need these boosts. We're Jim Hammond, for crying out loud. Let's go. Oh, look at that legendary presence. So legendary. Let's take what? Do I take this match 5 into that red match. That sounds good. And we'll take that. Do I take the match 4? Or the match 3 into 3? I think I'm going to take the 3 into 3. Because I saw that blue down there. I might as well take that up. Oh, wow. Give me a match 5 up there as well. What a lucky combo. Okay. All right. Let's hit this wildfire up. It costs 10 for me to cast that, by the way. Uh-oh. I think my son is home from daycare. You might hear voices here really shortly. And the what? Yep, there he is.
Hi, Daddy.
Hello.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to the internet, to the chat. I'm playing Puzzle Quest, like you know. My son does know Puzzle Quest. Yeah. He knows the game. I've taught him how to play match 3 games.
Can I do it?
In one moment, buddy. I'll let you play after this match here. Oh, we didn't get to fire the red on her. We're going to see how much damage we can nuke her with, but wildfire is too good. By the way, if I have to suggest, if you're going to use Jim Hammond anytime soon, please... Yes, it's up on my screen too. I'm going to use Jim Hammond with Lizard. If anyone wants to use Jim Hammond, put with Lizard. Lizard has a 7 purple AP move that puts out 4 repeaters that self-fortify themselves every time. Yes. And because of that, he could constantly cast that red for continuous damage that fortifies itself often. Anyways, I'm going to call it right here because now that my son is home, there's going to be no shortage of chaos in this house. Thank you very much for joining me in the chat, Jetix. If you have any further questions, oh, no problem, dude. Please drop them either here on Twitch, send me a message here, or go to the YouTube channel. I'm going to post this video there so people can see all of our conversation, take notes themselves, and I'll be happy to answer more questions there as well. So, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.